Thanks, Mr. Lanis. What he said, everything is true. First, I want to thank the kids, first of all. I mean, when I went to school back in the days, it was the Fremont School, and that was back in that time was pretty old school. You kids are lucky because you guys have a brand new school. It looks like a university here, as a matter of fact. But just remember this day because you'll never ever forget it, hopefully. But and in the community, without your support, I wouldn't be here, or the school wouldn't be here. But I would like to thank, first of all, Tom Kavanaugh, HMC, and his group for architecting this whole facility here. So it's wonderful. Mr. Azevedo from Grapevine Advisors, Money Man, and Mr. Colombo, Joe Colombo. Stand up, guys. Thank you for them. Mr. Colombo wanted to construct this whole thing here. I guess, and also Mr. Torkelson and Mrs. Silverman for coming from Sacramento. Thank you for your assistance and thank you for coming here. Otherwise, thank you very much. Very short. Mr. Herrera, I guess, is next.
This is always my problem. I have to adjust the microphone, so please bear with me. Anyway, you think that everything has been said, but it hasn't. And then it was mentioned that some would say more words than others, and I guess you've already guessed who that person was. Anyway, thank you is a key word. Without a team effort, this facility would not have been done. From day one, as was already mentioned, we had some money from the previous bond. We had already done Harvest and Lavinia schools. But we saw that the district and the city were still growing, and there was an opportunity to get this property, and away we went. And all these things was when Dad was on the board and he passed away, and then I took his place. So it was right in that transitional time that this acreage was purchased. But segue to now, when I think back to when we first had our groundbreaking ceremony, and this was just all dirt. It looked like the field across the street over here, nothing, just weeds, and we're going, well, how are we going to do a school? And to the credit of the state of California, especially Lisa Silverman, who helped us with our vision, and without her and her team, and by the way, she is from the Central Valley, so she did understand what it was like to get a facility for a smaller community. You know, we're not LA unified or anything like that. And yet she saw the vision, being from the Central Valley, and she said, I understand what you need to have. I understand because it's a farm worker community. I understand that you're trying to have the best education you can for the children in your community, and we're here to support you. And you don't get that very often from bureaucrats in Sacramento. And again, I'd like to thank Lisa Silverman for her help. And it goes without saying that without you, the community, the parents, and I always like to include the grandparents, because the grandparents raise a third of the school-age kids in the state of California, so the grandparents cannot be forgotten. I thank all of you. Kids, this is your school. Be proud of it. I know you're probably tired of seeing me walking around as they were doing the construction, or once you came to school, the ground, still working on them, working on your gymnasium and finishing up your multi-purpose building and everything. But we have gotten to the point where we're very proud to hand over probably, and I'm going to stick my neck out a little bit, the best school right now, elementary school in the state of California. Without our trade unions, and I don't think enough has been said for their support. Without their support, we wouldn't have been able to really get where we needed to be on the list, because we could show that we were shovel ready. We could show that this would provide jobs in the community, that money would flow into the community. And with those arguments, they said, okay, fine, you're ready to go. We'll help you move forward. So HMC, the architects, and by the way, architecturally, isn't this school fantastic with the way they did the buildings, the angles and everything? You don't see that anywhere else in the Central Valley right now. HMC, thank you very much. And more than once it was said, what are you going to name this college? People that were bringing the cement in and other things, they thought we were building a college. And God willing, if we're around long enough, let's do that for our kids and for Delano. Let's look forward to maybe bringing a college to Delano also. And lastly, Mr. James Acevedo, who put the team together, who kept things going, helped us get financing, helped us move things in Sacramento locally, and just put so much time into this project, coming from Southern California 2-3 times a week. I really appreciate his dedication, his assistance with everything, and his brain power for helping to keep the team together. Along with him, well, first of all, let's give James another round of applause. James. Grapevine Advisors. Now, lastly, Joe Colombo, what can I say about him? It was his team working with the trade unions, with the project labor agreement, with his people, bringing on the subcontractors, coordinating everything. This is the third school that I've actually taken point, thank you to my fellow board members, to putting me there, to construct 3 schools. I was in the trenches with Harvest, then Lavinia, and then now Pioneer School. And prior to that, when Dad was on the board, I think he was point on 3 to 4 other schools. I can think of 3 more right off the bat, but I think there was 1 more. So over the past 25 years, the Herreras have been in the board chair during the construction of the last 6 to 7 schools. So I really am proud of that also. But Joe Colombo, he kept things together. Jason, who was his point man here every day. It was amazing to sit in on a construction meeting and him barking out the orders, telling people what to do, coordinating everything so one trade would not stumble over another, and he was checking on the workmanship. I cannot say enough for Jason. Joe is over here, but Joe could not be Joe without someone like Jason out at the site. So please, a round of applause for Jason. I don't know where you're sitting, but please stand up. Jason's a man, he really is. And Joe, please, a round of applause for Joe Colombo. I have a lot more to say, but I think I'll cut it off at that point. Romeo's not here, so I used his minutes, okay?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, there he is. Oh my God. Sorry, Romeo, you got 2 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you.
Well, good morning, friends, distinguished guests. It gives me great pleasure to be here with you this morning. Thank you all for joining us to celebrate the dedication of Pioneer Elementary School. You know, a lot's been said with regards to this project, and I want to thank all the partners who came together to make this project a reality. Let's give them one more round of applause. It was alluded to in previous comments, this particular campus is very unique, but if you look at the big picture, I want you to ask yourselves the question, where can you go where you have a K-8 school, a high school, and a junior college within the general vicinity, all within a couple of blocks from one another? So imagine that. You have children who will be born in the neighborhood directly behind us, who can come to school here from kindergarten, progress all the way to the 8th grade, into high school, and to college, without ever having to leave their neighborhood. I think that's a phenomenal thing. Now, when we built this school and we started to construct, Delano is rich in history. But there's one peculiar thing about Delano that, kind of bothers me. We still have a small contingent of individuals who always try to hyper-focus on the things that we do not have, as opposed to the things that we do. And the question came to me often from people about why the school, why so big, why on that location, why so much? And I guess I could summarize that answer by just telling you a story, and I've told it before, and some of you may remember. To the adults out in the audience, there's a moment that we all shared that unites us. And that was the time when we became parents for the first time. When you held your child for the first time in your arms, you probably made a promise. You probably said, I'm going to give this child the very best of everything I can. I'm going to shield this child from ever feeling pain. I want this child to have the best health care and the best education possible. And we'll move heaven and earth to do just that. Well, to those who question, the answer is simple. Our district is helping those people fulfill that promise to give their kids the best education possible. And that's why we're here. Now, I'm excited about this district because we've done some wonderful things. Partnered with our dear friends at the high school district, 3 distinguished schools. We're gradually increasing on our test scores. We have some of the best students. And we've done a lot, and we're going further. But it's going to require the community's help to continue to push us forward. One of the things that frustrates me, it was bittersweet. We just opened a Walmart on the south end of town. People were excited about that. I was too. But could you imagine how much further we could push education if the opening of this school and the achievements that we reach at each of our other school sites are met with the same fanfare as that of an opening of a Walmart? Think about it. Thank you for being here.